I'm Keisha Butts with the CTV News Update. America has new leadership at the White House. Joe Biden, a longtime senator from Delaware and former vice president, is now sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. On his first day of office, Biden signed 17 executive orders. Some of the actions include implementing a mask mandate on federal property and rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. During inauguration celebrations last night, Biden addressed the nation from the Lincoln Memorial.
There are moments in our history when more is asked of us as Americans. We saw that in the Civil War. We saw that with Dr. King dreaming from these steps across the mall. We are in one of those moments now. The pandemic, economic crisis, racial injustice, the climate crisis, and threats to our very democracy. And the question is, are we up to it? Will we meet the moment like our forebears have? I believe we must, and I believe we will.
Biden also rejoined the World Health Organization and ended travel restrictions for people from predominantly Muslim countries. Measured, focused, and ready to go. That's how Maryland State Senator Jim Rosapep describes the new Biden administration. Rosapep worked on the Biden campaign. He says what people saw from Biden during the campaign is a good predictor of what is expected moving forward.
He has been very measured, very focused on preparation, on fighting the pandemic, on restarting the economy, on trying to overcome racial conflict, on planning to be serious about climate change, all the big things that are important in the country and in Maryland.
As Kamala Harris was sworn in as vice president yesterday, Maryland's Democratic Party chair was close by. Yvette Lewis was seated just a few feet away with members of the state's congressional delegation. It was an emotional moment for Lewis, who, like Harris, attended Howard University and is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Following the ceremony, Lewis and Congressman Steny Hoyer presented Biden and Harris with a photograph of the inauguration. The officer dubbed the Capitol Hill hero took part in the historic inauguration yesterday. Capitol Hill police officer Eugene Goodman escorted Vice President Kamala Harris to the Capitol for the inauguration ceremony. You may recall Goodman was captured on camera luring rioters away from the unguarded doors of the Senate chambers during the insurrection back on January 6th. Goodman's actions that day potentially saved many lives. Since the attack on the Capitol, Goodman has been promoted to acting Deputy Senate Sergeant at Arms. After lending a helping hand during the pandemic, a young Marylander was featured during the inauguration. 8-year-old Kavanaugh Bell from Gaithersburg has a business making and delivering care packages to senior citizens. As his business began to grow, Bell and his mom, along with a nonprofit, opened a community pantry called Love is Greater Than COVID-19. The young entrepreneur was highlighted during inaugural events last night, and he also introduced singer Justin Timberlake.
Because the pandemic left so many in need, I decided to make care packs to help elderly people in my community.
It feels so good to be just featured a part of the inauguration because I want to inspire both sides, Republicans and Democrats. So it just feels good. And this is actually my first time doing something with the official president of the United States. So I'm happy.
Bell says he met Vice President Kamala Harris last year. Senate President Mike Miller, who died of cancer recently, will lie in state this evening at the Maryland State House.
It affects every decision you're making, so you look in the morning, you see if your hair is still there.
Miller served nearly 50 years in both chambers of the General Assembly, championing a variety of issues, particularly those that affected his home district in Prince George's County. He worked long past his initial cancer diagnosis and treatment, signing many bills into law, and even working virtually during the pandemic. His legacy will encompass sometimes heated issues such as legalized slots and casino gambling.
I brought MGM to Prince George's County, Metro Golden Mayor. I mean, it was huge. A lot of opposition, but guess what? That one facility is funding the construction of schools all throughout the state of Maryland. That one building, MGM in Prince George's County. We're going to bond the money from that and build schools based on that. So we're going to find a way to fund the program and make it work. The people in Prince George's County are going to be very proud of what we do.
Miller will lie in state this evening from 6 to 8 p.m. with visitation for family only. Tomorrow, invited guests will be allowed in the rotunda by appointment only from 8 to 11 a.m. and 3 to 7 p.m. The visitation will be streamed online. A private funeral is planned for Saturday at St. John the Evangelist Church in Clinton. You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. We'll be back after the break.
I moved to Florida with literally pennies in my pocket and a prayer. I needed a new start. Dacian looks like a very typical 3-year-old until you ask him, "What's your name? How old are you?" My son has a lot of behaviors that would show as being autistic. Most kids can tolerate a variety of foods, but unfortunately for Dacian, everything has to be organic and raw. I wasn't ashamed to go to the food pantries. It's expensive to eat healthy, and nutrition is very important to Dacian's health. The healthy, organic food that we receive dramatically helped his social skills. Most people would say, she really doesn't have much of a life. But to me, I have everything right there next to me and my son.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Welcome back. Maryland's coronavirus numbers continue to surge. The state health department today reports more than 2,100 new confirmed cases. An additional 46 Marylanders have died from the virus, bringing the state's death count to more than 6,500. The Prince George's County Public School System CEO is encouraging teachers to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Monica Goldson says PGCPS is working with Kaiser Permanente to vaccinate employees with a tentative start date in February. She says she's optimistic schools could reopen in the spring. Once in-person learning resumes, she expects to implement a hybrid model with small groups of students. Goldson also says parents will have the option to continue distance learning for their children for the rest of the academic year. Prince George's police are investigating a fatal pedestrian accident. It happened last night just before 11:30 at the intersection of Riggs Road and Route 410 in Chilham. The victim, an adult male, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the striking vehicle did remain at the scene. The investigation continues. To bring awareness to National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, the Human Relations Commission is hosting a special event tomorrow. Senator Ben Cardin, the state's attorney, and other officials will discuss the challenges combating human trafficking. The event will take place virtually starting at 9 a.m.
It takes all of us to really understand what human trafficking is and how we can really identify and to try and recover, rescue, and really are survivors and victims of trafficking.
Human trafficking is a multifaceted issue and it travels across industries. It's always important to highlight the importance of human trafficking.
For more information about the event, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. You can also view the event through the county library system. In other news, young people entering the workforce during the pandemic have had a particularly hard time finding jobs. The Earned Income Tax Credit can help, but some say Maryland's EITC program shortchanges young workers not claiming dependents. The nonprofit Cash Campaign of Maryland is trying to change that.
We have legislation before the General Assembly this year. It's House Bill 176, and it is to increase the Maryland Earned Income Tax Credit for single workers who are not claiming dependents. So this is a population, again, who makes less than $15,000. This would put up to $526 of additional funds, into their refund. And this is a group that includes first-time moms, so people who are pregnant, but they haven't had the child yet, so they can't claim the dependent, non-custodial parents, foster youth that are transitioning out, young veterans and other young workers that are on their own and aren't supported by their families. So this is a particularly vulnerable group in terms of folks that don't have other supports. And we want to show them that work pays, right? And going to work pays. And that's really what is behind the earned income tax credits.
A hearing on HB 176 is scheduled before the House Ways and Means Committee this afternoon. Governor Hogan proposes a $49 billion budget for fiscal year 2022. It's down 2% from his 2021 spending plan. It also taps into the rainy day fund, leaving a balance of $991 million, down from $1.2 billion right now. The budget does not include widespread furloughs or layoffs of state employees. It does add $7.5 billion into K through 12 education, $803 million into school construction, and $1 billion into an economic stimulus package. Democrats say more needs to be done to address the growing need for broadband access and tutoring access, as well as programs dealing with mental health and healthcare disparities. She's drawing rave reviews following the Biden inauguration in 2017. At the age of 19, Amanda Gorman was the first National Youth Poet Laureate. Yesterday, at the age of 22, she became the youngest person to deliver an Inauguration Day poem. The California native delivered a stirring message about democracy just 2 weeks after the Capitol Hill insurrection.
But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter.
Gorman was invited to speak at the inauguration at the request of First Lady Jill Biden. Sports and politics mix as the Golden State Warriors pay tribute to Vice President Kamala Harris. The Warriors have released a video congratulating the Vice President, a native of Oakland, California. They've also given Harris a framed honorary jersey, hoping it will hang in her office.
Congratulations. Blazing your own path. We're all rooting and supporting you the whole way.
Oh, this means so much to me. You guys, I will proudly display this in the office of the Vice President of the United States, an office I am about to occupy. And I cannot thank you enough. And you always bring such joy and pride to me as a daughter of Oakland.
Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Mostly clear with a low around 32 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 47 and a low around 25. Saturday, sunny with the daytime temps in the mid-30s dropping to a low around 22 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 39 and a low around 30. And now for the community calendar. The Baltimore-Washington Forecast Office of the National Weather Service is now accepting applications for their summer college student volunteer program. Participants will work one-on-one with meteorologists to present research or data projects while assisting with the daily operations. Applicants must be U.S. citizens pursuing a degree in meteorology or a related science. The deadline to apply is February 7th. For more information, visit noaa.gov. And that wraps up our newscast. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good night and stay safe.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Yeah, it's so sad.
It's not. Here, put that on.